Carl and I have spent 12 years really. This is, I don't know, maybe it's more than 12 years now, close to 13. 12 years, pretty quiet, traveling around talking to people in the beginning, talking to people online for the last couple of years, and also talking to people in person in events like this. And that whole time, that whole 12-year period, up until 1 year ago, at the last retreat here in Ojai, that entire time, what my experience of what we were doing was that I was trying to find some way. I knew that something happened in my life. And I knew kind of what it was. And I knew for certain when it happened. And I knew kind of what it was. And what had happened in my life was not that I suddenly became all-seeing and full of the secret understandings of the nature of reality or or non-dual consciousness or anything of the kind. Emptiness, none of that. What actually happened was that the gap between me and my life disappeared at some point. And I found myself indistinguishable from my life and in love with my life. I discovered that although my life was still filled with problems, and although I still was stupid in a lot of areas, and although I still retained a considerable store of neurotic habitual behaviors and ways of looking at things, that despite all of that, despite the fact that times were hard, that money was short, that despite all of that, I was in love with my life. There was nothing anywhere as interesting to me as this life unfolding. And it wasn't an interest from a distance, it was an interest from within the life. And I knew that was the case. I knew it. And I couldn't for the life of me find a way to tell anybody what I had done that had brought that into being. And 12 years was spent trying to do just that, by talking to the people like you, by talking to people from all over the world, really, trying to find some way to say directly what I had done, what the secret was, how any human being, I mean, if I could do it, anybody could do it, how any human being could find the same wonder that had come to me. And to tell the truth, for a long time, I thought it was a waste of time. I didn't think I was up to the task. Well, I'm certainly not up to the task. And I really felt that the very vocabulary that I had to use, the whole contextual understanding that I was speaking from, everything that I had at my disposal to try to communicate this was dumb. Like a club. But we continued to try, and during pretty much that entire 12-year period, we did very little to call attention to ourselves. You know, we didn't go out trying to get crowds of people coming, and we did very little to try to call attention to ourselves. Spent a lot of time with people. And then last November at the retreat, right here, right in this room, during the retreat last November, it I don't know how to say this. You have to understand something about me, and that is that I am not all that, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Reverent, I guess. Or, reverent. Not all that reverent. Don't know why I said that either, by the way. Because this sounds like I'm saying something reverent, but I'm really being kind of ironic. It was like the clouds parted and the sun broke through. And I mean really, it was that powerful a development, an event, an occurrence. It's like the clouds parted and the sun broke through. And all of the sense that I had of all the difficulty that I had had trying to speak of what needed to be done just went away. It was all made up. There's nothing difficult at all about this, and there's nothing difficult at all about speaking about it, and there's nothing difficult at all about doing it. Really, nothing. So since then, since last November, things have changed with us. And we have, and I have spoken more clearly about what it is that I see to be the case. I've spoken more directly to people about what to do. What can you do? You can do this. This is what you can do. And in the course of and I have also written some things, like trying to present what it is that I feel to be the case in a way that's understandable by anybody, in a way that they can see whether it makes sense, whether it's coherent, whether it's human, or whether it's just more mumbo jumbo. And the response to what has happened over the past year has been quite amazing, really. We always, or for the last few years, when we have focused on working online, with online meetings and things of that nature, podcasts and so forth, we have had more and more people from all over the world come and speak with us and talk to us and take part in this with us. And since in recent days, the response to what we have put out there has been quite astonishing, really. People hear this and respond to it. People hear this and do it. People hear this and find that human life is the most interesting thing imaginable, the most satisfying thing imaginable. That there is that the whole effort to escape from, or transform, or transcend human life is itself predicated on the false and insane idea that life is the problem. That life is the problem. We've been meeting with people recently in the last few months, putting together a project and an organization to accomplish that project. And now I'm here with you. And I tell you from my heart that whether whether the particular way in which I see this to have taken place has any merit or not, and without regard actually to anything I say, and whether it is sensible or true or on point or accurate or true in any way whatsoever, regardless whether my ideas about the fear of life are true, regardless if my ideas about why this works are true. The fact is that if you will just make one true effort to get the direct feel. This is a feel. It's not an understanding. It's not an understanding. It's not the discovery that there is no self. It's the direct feel of you. If you will try to get the direct, just for a tenth of a second, the direct feel of what it feels like to be you. Not awareness, not consciousness, not emptiness, not God love, not love, you. If you will do that, you can't fail. If you try, you cannot fail. You may think you failed, but you'll soon or later see that you haven't. If you try that, you can't fail. And if you try that, you will almost certainly continue to try that. And in the end, you will find yourself safe and sane, secure, satisfied, fulfilled, and deeply in love with life as a human being. The problems remain. Pain remains. Pleasure remains. Ignorance remains. Understanding remains. Confusion remains. Clarity remains. All stirring, moving, and in the endless manifesting of life as a human being. See, we're on to something. I believe we're on to something. And I believe that it really is possible for humanity to live up to its promise. I know it's possible for humanity to live up to its promise. It's not a quick fix. There's no quick fix here. I mean, there's kind of a quick fix because the problem goes pretty quickly. The cause of the problem goes pretty quickly. The effects take some time to settle themselves and resolve themselves. The effects being the craziness that we are afflicted with, all of us. The relationship with life, the alienation from life, the ways in which we combat and make war against everything that comes and goes within us. So it's not a quick fix. But what I honestly expect to happen, I don't know why I keep saying honestly, I expect to happen in the next, in a relatively short period of time, a year or two at the most. What I really expect to happen, and the reason is because the communication of this act is so simple, it's so harmless, it so requires nothing, no agreement, no disagreement, no anything, that I am convinced that if we can get the news of this act to enough human beings that every human being hears of it, just hears of it, that what'll happen is a gradual reversal of the course of human development. Not a savior come to save us from the effects of all the stupid stuff we've been doing, not a sweeping away of the bad and an enhancement of the good or anything like that. Just a natural course of recovery from an extremely serious disease for the individual human and for humanity at large. So what I expect to happen is that over the next few years, that course of ever quickening rush to self-destruction that seems to be the case with us now settles down a little bit and begins to reverse itself. Human life is incredible. Human life is incredible. Not to be wasted on stupid stuff.